Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the African Wahala. Thank you for joining me live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you like the content, share it. Click on the like button. Feel free to be a part of the conversation by dropping a comment in the comment section. I can drop a link so you can call in, and at some point during the show, you might be able to call in on the WhatsApp number that is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So if you guys have seen the title of this broadcast, it is, what is the end result of all these calamities that are going on in Nigeria? If you haven't been following the news, so many things have happened in the last 1 week. Negative things for the most part. We've had multiple terror attacks. On Friday of last week, there was a major terror attack in Kaduna State, northern Nigeria. There were about 12 villages attacked and 50 people killed, 100 people kidnapped. On Saturday, there were more terrorist attacks in the same Kaduna State. There was another attack on the highway, on Abuja-Kaduna Highway. Terrorists blocking the highway, kidnapping travelers, taking them into the bushes, demanding ransom. And they killed a bunch of people as well. And then on Tuesday, about 2 days ago, there was another attack on the rail line connecting Abuja to Kaduna. Multiple people killed, multiple people kidnapped. But the attack on the rail line got more people talking because it's a popular line, right? It's kind of hypocritical that even though multiple people have been killed a few days earlier, nobody really talked about it because the people that died in the villages in southern Kaduna are mostly farmers, poor people living in their localities. So nobody said anything about it, even though 50 of them were dead. But then in the train attacks, the terrorist attacks that happened a few days ago, I believe there were 8 people, according to the report, that were killed and many people kidnapped. But the news of 8 people killed went viral. Everybody is talking about it. And it almost seems like that has awoken Nigerians from their slumber. Not considering the fact that multiple people were killed a few days earlier. What that tells me is that we have an attitude of placing a higher value on certain lives, the lives of rich people, not poor people. Now, there was another news. Nigeria crashed out of the World Cup qualifiers against Ghana 2 days ago in Abuja Stadium. Ghana came, played Nigeria at home. It ended up in a draw. Nigeria was disqualified. Did not qualify because of the FIFA rules, away goal. So right after the game, Nigerians jumped into the football pitch and started rioting. They destroyed the entire place. We are going to talk about that too. During that commotion at the stadium, a Zambian doctor that works for CAF, he lost his life. Very sad situation. He lost his life. But in my opinion, it's a good thing that Nigeria did not qualify for the World Cup because it's going to make us focus, on the reality that is facing us. We're also going to talk about the fact that DSS, the Department of State Security, came out with a memorandum advising the president of the country not to attend the game because there were some intelligence reports that there was supposed to be a terrorist attack at the stadium where that game was held. So Buhari, the president, did not show up at the game, but nobody else was informed about it. We're going to talk about that. And then finally, all of this is building up towards the 2023 presidential elections coming up. That's what most people are talking about, actually. The politicians keep coming out telling us that they have the solutions to the problem of Nigeria and we need to give them an opportunity. Vote for me I will rescue you from the mess that you are in. But what's crazy is that all these politicians that keep coming out, they all at some point during their careers contributed to the mess that we are in today. So starting with the first topic of the conversation, multiple terror attacks in the last few days. It got many people shook in the country. Yes, obviously. I mean, people are getting killed left, right, center, especially in the north. The insecurity problem has reached the crescendo, the peak. It has reached a point where it is about to go completely volatile. Nigeria has completely lost its ability to protect itself. It's not because the military is not capable or because the country does not have the finances to protect itself. The truth is, even if Nigeria does not even have the money, it has a name to borrow money from other countries to buy equipment to fight against terrorism or to fight against the root cause of terrorism by reducing unemployment and providing education for more people. But the truth is, the people responsible for Nigeria, the administrators, they are not ready. They don't want the terrorism to end. As a matter of fact, they are complicit. They are a part of the game. I mean, we've given so many examples in the past of people working with the present administration that are directly linked to the terrorism going on in Nigeria. And I'm also going to go back into the story a little bit. If you remember back in the days when Goodluck Jonathan was the president, the previous administration before Buhari, there used to be a lot of terrorist attacks, especially in the northeast, Borno, Yobe. It was Boko Haram. Boko Haram was reigning. And then in Abuja, you would hear about bomb blasts. You would hear about Boko Haram fighters getting all the way to Abuja, detonating bomb blast at the United Nations building, at Eagle Square, at Yanya. We've heard about those situations. But once Goodluck Jonathan stepped out of power, automatically the bomb blasts ceased. And then Buhari took over power. The terrorism didn't stop, but it changed its shape. This time around, there were more groups that came out of the dirt. Back in the days, we had Boko Haram. Now we have Fulani killer herdsmen and Fulani bandits. The Fulani bandits are the ones that are currently causing the most carnage in the country. They are the ones responsible for the bombings that happen in Kaduna. But what I'm trying to make out of this conversation is, with each administration comes a new form of terrorism. And if you think about it deeply, it's usually from the rivals of politicians that sponsor the terrorism so that their rivals that are in administration will not have a smooth sailing process while administering the country. So Buhari's rival, the rivals of Buhari, are some of the sponsors of the terrorism. Goodluck Jonathan's time, his rivals were some of the sponsors of the bomb blasts that were occurring all the time. But this time around with Buhari, you can also say that some of Buhari's friends, his cohorts, are also responsible for the sponsoring of these bandits that are running rampage, that has woken everybody up. Now everybody is talking about the insecurity because the train line was recently blown up. And we need to keep in mind that this train line that was constructed between Abuja and Kaduna was already a topic of controversy because Nigeria had to take loans from the Chinese Exim Bank to build that infrastructure. And what's crazy is that the loans that Nigeria took from the Chinese Exim Bank, it gave that loan to a Chinese company to build the rail line. The name of the Chinese company is CCECC. That is, I can find the full meaning of the acronym. But CCECC, a Chinese company, multinational company, is responsible for building most of the infrastructure, the railway infrastructure in Nigeria, including the Abuja Kaduna line. So it is crazy because if Nigeria had to go borrow money from China and gave that money to a Chinese company to build the infrastructure, it is a conflict of interest. It is a way that the Chinese have set the loans so that the money comes back into the Chinese economy. But that's another conversation for another day. That infrastructure now has been blown up by terrorists because terrorists are running wild, running rampage around the country. So, how is this going to end? How is this entire mess? What is going to be the backstory? No, sorry, what is going to be the end result of this whole mess? What I think is going to happen is that at some point, the people that are pushed to the wall, the victims, the common Nigerians that are getting killed all over the place, even though these days some higher class Nigerians are beginning to get touched, okay? But for the most part, it's the poor people that are getting killed. So these poor people, at some point, they will have to push back because you can only push people so far towards the wall, and at some point, they wouldn't have a choice but to come back towards you and attack you because they are trying to defend themselves. Nigerians are currently pushed to the extreme levels, backs against the wall. The economy is in shambles. The currency is messed up, has been degraded badly in the last couple of years. The security situation is gone. Nobody feels safe. You can't even travel. Listen, you know what happened in Kaduna in the last 1 week? There was an attack at the airport in Kaduna. Bandits numbering over 100 on motorbikes. They drove into the airport. They prevented an airplane from landing, or was it from taking off? And then when that happened, people naturally went towards the next safest form of transportation, which was the rail lines. And when they jumped on the rail lines the very next day, they were attacked. So the people that were the victims of the train terrorist attack were not people of the lower strata of the society. Because I said it earlier that there was 12 villages in Kaduna that were attacked about 2 days earlier, and nobody said anything about it. 50 people were killed. But nobody said anything about it because these are poor people. They have always been the victims of the country. Nobody really cares. But once it started affecting people of the higher class, now more people are interested. More people are talking about it. So what is the final result? The poor people are going to fight back at some point. We've seen a snippet of the potential reaction of the poor people in the post situation of the Nigeria-Ghana game. So after Nigeria was dropped out of the World Cup qualifiers series and Nigerians jumped into the crowd, into the stadium and started rioting, started breaking everything. I'm going to try to share that video if I have it here. That reaction from Nigerians wasn't just due to the fact that they lost the game. No, it was deeper than that. That is not a usual reaction from Nigerians. It's not the first time that Nigeria is getting beat up at home in a very important game. It's not the first time, but it's the first time that Nigerians have rioted at that extent after losing a game. And the reason why it is that people have built up frustrations for such a long time due to their dire economic situation, due to their dire security situation. A country without security cannot be prosperous economically. So due to the dire situations that makes life decent for the people, they have built up frustrations. And whenever the people go out there to protest, they are usually met with violence. We know about that already, right? The Nigerian government deploys its military to attack the people that are protesting. Just 1 second. Yeah. So that's what happened in the games, right? People are protesting, fire, people are rioting, smashing everything on site in the stadium, and it's not a usual reaction. That what that tells me is that Nigerians are extremely frustrated, and the slightest form of joy, which usually comes from soccer games, okay, because Nigerians love their football, they love their English Premier League, European Premier League in general, La Liga, Bundesliga from Germany, the one that they play in Italy. Nigerians love soccer. And you find Nigerians arguing passionately week after week about soccer because it's something that gives them joy, right? And then the football game happened. Nigeria lost to Ghana. People jumped on the field, started protesting, started destroying everything. It's not because they were really upset at losing to Ghana. It's because they have other frustrations that have been built up and have been suppressed for the longest time. That's not the regular behavior of Nigerians. And what that tells me is that at some point, the entire system in the country that has created an extremely unsafe country, a country with a terrible economic situation where people can't even afford, 45% of the country lives on less than $2 a day. There was a report that came out from the World Bank, and I know a lot of people don't like the World Bank. They claim that the World Bank and similar institutions are propaganda machines. To each his own. If that's what you believe, fine. But the World Bank came out with a report saying that before the end of 2023, 98 million Nigerians are going to be living in extreme poverty. 98 million. So that's pretty much half of the population. So there are so many things that are putting pressure on the average Nigerian today. And the end result of this whole mess is simple. People are going to fight back. It's not going to be beautiful, though. I don't think it's going to be organized, too. I think when people start fighting back eventually, it's going to be absolute chaos. It's going to be people in hundreds of thousands, if not millions, running into Abuja, running into the National Assembly, running towards the police headquarters, Eagle Square, the Secretariat, rioting. That's what's going to happen eventually because it's human nature. You can't suppress people and punish people for so long and think it is sustainable. It's not sustainable. I understand Nigerians have a high threshold of suffering. Nigerians are the kind of people that are used to suffering and smiling. They never complain. Nigerians don't complain about suffering and smiling. They just simply adjust. You push a Nigerian to the wall, he adjusts, no problem. They find the next best way to live. That's how we've always been. But at some point, people are going to fight back because it's human nature. It's just not possible to continue suffering to the maximum level without reacting. It's just human nature. People are going to push back at some point. And that's what we are waiting for. It might not even be the civilians. It might be the military. I need to remind you something. The war against terrorism, it has been going on since 2009. So that's 13 years, right? Between 2009 and 2022, Nigeria has spent 4.3 trillion naira. So between 2015 and 2022, that's 7 years, Nigeria has spent 4.3 trillion naira. I'm not too sure how much that is in dollars on fighting against insecurity. But guess what? The insecurity hasn't diminished. It has only grown bigger. One other thing that has happened while the insecurity grew bigger is that there are more terrorist groups. Now it's not only Boko Haram that we are dealing with. Now we are dealing with Fulani terrorist bandits, the people they call bandits. We are dealing with killer Fulani. Exists. We're also dealing with ISWAP. There is ISWAP. But at the same time, while all of these are existing, while all of these are happening, the top military guys have become billionaires. We had one of the retired chief of army staff, Buratai. Buratai has a long track record of committing heinous crimes. He's supposed to be in prison, but Nigeria rewarded him with an ambassadorial position to Benin Republic. That gives him immunity, right? This is someone that is supposed to be under a thorough investigation for violation of human rights, but that's not what happened. The guy is now the ambassador of Nigeria to Benin Republic, so he can't be investigated right now. Now, Buratai, he's a billionaire today. The guy came out when some investigation was happening. He said, "Oh, I sell snake venom. I sell snake venom. That's how I make my money." Even though this guy bought multiple houses in Dubai for his multiple wives, the chief of army staff, former chief of army staff, he's just one example. There are many other top chiefs in the military, in the navy, in the army, in different institutions protecting the country. They've all become billionaires. Meanwhile, the lower ranking soldiers, the rank and file, they are the ones being sacrificed. You hear stories all the time. Oh, 15 soldiers got killed by Boko Haram. 22 soldiers got killed by bandits. 36 soldiers got killed by ISWAP. You just hear about soldiers getting killed. It's the lower ranked soldiers that are getting killed, while the higher ranked soldiers are becoming millionaires, billionaires. So what does that tell you? At some point, there is going to be a fight back, a pushback from the lower ranked soldiers. The same way the lower ranked citizens are going to push back at some point. And that's where this whole thing is going to end. I'm not saying there is going to be a military takeover, but who knows? That might happen. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, the elections that are coming up in 2023, that these same politicians that contributed to all the entire mess that we find ourselves in today, the same politicians that created that mess, coming back to tell us to vote for them for the 2023 elections, if they come back in, the pain and suffering is definitely going to continue, guaranteed. If we allow PDP or APC, the two top political parties, if we allow any one of their candidates to get back into the position of power, guaranteed 1000%. I don't care if it's Peter Obi. I don't care if it's which one of them is the best. Peter Obi is probably the best amongst the bunch in PDP and APC. But even Peter Obi is going to completely fail, destroy his legacy in the process, and the pain and suffering will continue. Because like I said earlier, there are two things. Your rivals are going to make your government ungovernable. Your administration is going to be a hellhole. During Goodluck Jonathan's time, it was bombing. When Jonathan stepped down, Buhari took over. Now it's terrorists. And I'm not saying it is only Buhari's opponents that are sponsoring the terrorists. Buhari himself and his APC, his friends, El Rufai, Ishaq Pantami, the Minister of Communications, so many other guys in that administration, they are the ones sponsoring the terrorism. I don't need to show you guys evidence. We've seen all the evidences over the years. We saw Ishaq Pantami last year, the Minister of Communications, that handles sensitive data of millions of Nigerians. This guy was found in viral videos and audios showing support to the Taliban, showing support to Al-Qaeda and Boko Haram. When the videos went viral, Nigerians were asking, sack this guy from that position, thoroughly investigate him, and make sure someone goes to jail. But that didn't happen, obviously. As a matter of fact, the presidency came out with a statement telling us, the people, asking for Ishaq Pantami to be investigated, to shut up. They told us to shut up and that we are mischief makers, that we simply don't like Ishaq Pantami for whatever personal reasons it was, and that Ishaq Pantami made those comments when he was a young man. So now he has changed and we need to forget about it, let it go, let him continue in his role as the Minister of Communications. But what's crazy is Ishaq Pantami made those comments when he was about 33 years old. A grown man. Right now, he's in his late 40s, maybe 48, 49. He did not even meet the qualifications to be the Minister of Communications in the first place. He is a fake professor. His professorship has been renounced by the universities that awarded him in the first place. So the guy is a fake professor, right? He made it to be the Minister of Communications. He was discovered to be a jihadist Salafist but nobody conducted any investigation because they are the ones responsible for this mess. As far as the Fulani bandits, the Fulani terrorists go, before APC came into power in 2015, we heard APC members come out giving live interviews, telling us that, listen, all Fulanis all around the world, they don't know anything about borders between countries in Africa. They are free roamers. They roam from country to country, feeding their animals. So you have to accept them. If you find a Fulani herder in your community, just let it go because everywhere belongs to them. And as far as Nigeria is concerned, El Rufai came out saying, man, I had to travel to many parts of Africa and I told the Fulanis that they can come to Nigeria. We are going to grant them all what they need. We're going to give them food because we are the ones in power. And that's the bane of today's terrorism. That is exactly why Nigeria today is where it is. But what is going to be the end result of this whole mess? Like I said earlier, there is going to be a pushback. I don't know where it's going to come from. It might come from the actual citizens. It might come from the lower ranking soldiers and police officers. Because right now, if you think about it, everything has collapsed. ASU is on strike, the Association of University Lecturers. ASUP, Association of Polytechnic Lecturers, they are going on a warning strike, on a 1-month warning strike. The police went on a warning strike on Saturday. They were protesting about not being paid, about a shitty lifestyle that they live. They don't get paid regularly. Even when they get paid change. And that's why most of them give Nigerians hell on the roads. They go out there, they are extorting Nigerians. They are beating you up for refusing to pay them bribes. That's what the police does, right? So eventually they went on a strike. And now we have a terrible economy going on. The value of the naira has depreciated to the lowest in the history of the country. Right now, if you want to buy one egg, it is 100 naira. And the minimum wage in the country is 30,000 naira. Gasoline is expensive. It's expensive all over the world, but it is also in scarcity in Nigeria. There is no gasoline. You go to the petrol stations, you have to queue. You have to line up for like 2 days before you can get gasoline. In many parts of the country, there is no electricity. The power grid collapsed twice 2 weeks ago. So you don't have electricity. It's in the middle of dry season, so you're hot. But you need the fan to blow you, to cool you down. But there is no light. But you don't have petrol to put in your generator so you can cool yourself down. It's just a complete mess. Nigerians have not had it this bad in the history of Nigeria. And I'm afraid to say this. I thought Sani Abacha was the worst thing that happened to Nigeria in the history of the country. But this particular administration of Buhari has toppled it. Yeah, Buhari's administration has taken the suffering to the next level. As a matter of fact, Nigeria is not even a sustainable entity because if you think about it, every single administration in the history of Nigeria has always been worse. The predecessor has always been better than the guys taking over. For example, after Abacha, there was Abdul Salam. Abdul Salam was there for a short time, himself and Shonekon. Then there was Obasanjo. Obasanjo was the only administration that did slightly better than the previous administration. Apart from Obasanjo, there was Umar Yar'Adua, there was Jonathan, now there is Buhari. Each administration has been worse than the next. And even the Obasanjo's administration that was slightly better than the previous one, it wasn't better because Obasanjo was a great guy. Obasanjo did some good things. I'm going to give him some credit. But he was also a corrupt guy. Obasanjo too is one of those that contributed to the destruction of the country. So we can't even give him full credit. He's supposed to be investigated as well. But you know, one thing about us Nigerians is that a lot of us have dementia, when you easily forget stuff. For example, these days, Nigerians are already beginning to call for the return of Goodluck Jonathan because of the pain and suffering that Buhari has put them through. But they are quickly forgetting that Goodluck Jonathan himself was an extremely corrupt guy with an extremely corrupt administration. Jonathan's administration gave birth to Alison Madukwe, gave birth to Patience Jonathan's wife. Those ladies stole billions of naira. But nobody goes to prison, It's only poor people that go to jail because they've destroyed the institutions that are the judiciary institution. So you can't go to jail for committing crimes if you are an elite. If you belong to the elite class in the country, forget it, you're good. Unless you are an enemy to the guys running the administration, then you become vulnerable. At the end of the day, what is the final result of this whole mess? I'm going to tell you. People are going to react. People are going to push back. It might come from the military. Because like I said earlier, the higher echelon guys in the military are all becoming billionaires. The lower guys in the military are the ones being sacrificed to the terrorists. There was a guy that came, I'm going to look for that video. There was a military guy, like yesterday, his video went viral. He was in the bushes by himself, in the terrain of the terrorists. And he made a video asking God to protect his life, saying that his other colleagues had run away and he's by himself and he just wishes to be protected. So these are the things that you see happening in Nigeria all the time. And you need to understand that a guy like that military guy that found himself alone, isolated, where terrorists are, it's people like that that will eventually come together and try to violently stop all this mess. I'm telling you, if that doesn't happen, the people, the civilians, they've already shown it. In the loss to Ghana World Cup qualifiers, the way the people reacted, what it tells me is that the people have built up frustrations and they are looking for any avenue to express themselves. And at some point, they're going to do it. At some point, the people are going to do it because it's just human nature not to be able to tolerate suffering continuously non-stop. It's just not possible. You would either have to die or you would have to react. So before we keep going, I'm going to share a video for us to hear one of the top lawyers in Nigeria speaking about this case in Nigeria. Well, we all can see it, right? And that's going to lead me to the next topic of the conversation. It's about breaking up Nigeria. I think that might be the last solution. Okay, we've reached a point now where it's not, it's just not sustainable. It's literally unsustainable. This is a country where the people have become extremely divided, especially in the last 8 years, 7 years, because of different weird reasons from religion, tribe, so many things that have separated the people. And the administrators, they keep on forcefully telling the people that you don't have an option. The option of breaking up the country will not happen. It's not there because breaking up Nigeria is not an option. You have to love Nigeria. You absolutely have to love Nigeria. If you don't love Nigeria, you're a traitor. But even they don't love Nigeria. The administrators don't love Nigeria because if they did love Nigeria, let's be honest with ourselves. The reason why we are angry as a people is because we lack resources to make us live a comfortable life. Plus, we don't have human rights. Okay. Those are the two reasons why an average Nigerian is angry. And that's why they exploded after the Nigeria Ghana game, like they did. If an average Nigerian had some money in the bank, you had a job that you can go to, you wake up in the morning, you can go to a job that pays you decent money, even if the value of the naira has completely crashed. If 1 naira is equal to $10,000, sorry, if $1 is equal to 10,000 naira, but you, a worker in the country, the money that you make per month, your salary or your wage, is enough to take care of your rent, your feeding, your clothing, taking care of your kids. Fewer people will be this angry. That's the truth. If you look at the currency of a country like Japan, the Japanese yen is like $1 to like 100 yen. So it's not even one of the strongest currencies, but it's stable. An average Japanese, even though it's $1 to 100 yen, an average Japanese makes enough money to be able to take care of his necessity. Plus, if you think about it, Nigeria currently has 45% of its population living below $2 a day. That's another reason why people are angry. Because we see the administrators, the politicians, including their traditional and their religious counterparts, the so-called elites of the country. We see them living in opulence. We see these guys flying around in private jets. Some have 5 private jets. They have billions of naira in their bank accounts. They have mansions in Dubai. They have mansions in America. Their children don't live in Nigeria because Nigeria is already destroyed. The academic system is destroyed in the country. So their children school abroad. In fact, their children are citizens of countries abroad. Even they are citizens. They are citizens of the United States, the United Kingdom, and these are the people that come back to Nigeria and become ministers, senators, president, vice president, governors. These are the elites of the country. They don't care about the country. They don't like the country. They view the country as a business entity where they are supposed to take their own cut and dip. That is their mindset. And we see it. Okay? We the people, we see it. Not majority, but a huge percentage of the people see these things and it makes them angry from the inside. And that's why people are agitating. That's why the people started rioting and destroyed Abuja Stadium yesterday, because it was an opportunity for them to express their anger. And eventually, the end result of this whole thing is that something drastic is going to happen. The people are going to revolt. The military is going to revolt. The breakup of Nigeria, it's sounding like, man, it's far-fetched. I'll be honest with you, the 2023 elections, even though I wish it doesn't happen, because we don't need another fraudulent election. But if it does happen, whether it happens or not, if it happens, let's start with if it happens. If the 2023 election happens, it's just a continuation of the trajectory that we've been in. Constantly going down. The economy, the security, it's going to continue going down no matter who takes that position. If it's Tinubu, if it's Atiku, if it's Amechi, is Amechi running, Peter Obi, anybody, no matter who becomes the president, it's going to get worse. But if the election doesn't happen and the administrators, they decide that, okay, let's have a genuine national conversation. and understand what the hell we are doing as a people. Do we want to continue going forward this way as a country? If that's what we choose, then the country is going to die, guaranteed. Guaranteed, it's not going to survive. Or do we want to restructure the country and divide it into different regions? It might still be a single country with different automated regions with full autonomy that can develop themselves at their pace using their natural resources and their human resources. Is that what we want to do? Do we want to go back to an old constitution, not the fraudulent one that we have now? If that conversation can be had, then Nigeria stands a chance. If that conversation is not had, Nigeria doesn't stand a chance. And guess what? Unfortunately, the chances of that conversation taking place is like less than 5%. It's most likely not going to happen because we have a bunch of greedy, reckless, irredeemable criminals that are running the country, and they like it exactly how it is. And they already have their plan B. Their plan B is whenever the country implodes, they will jump on their private jets and fly away to Benin Republic or Ghana or Equatorial Guinea. They are just going to fly away to the nearest country of safety, and they will leave us, the people, to eat ourselves. But not all of them will be able to escape. Many will be able to escape when that thing eventually happens, but some are not going to escape. Let me show you guys some videos of the train attack that happened yesterday. I just want to show you how even rich people these days, normally it's only poor people that suffer the consequences of being a Nigerian. But these days, it's beginning to touch rich people too. Before I go into that video, I need to talk about this quickly because I don't want to forget this particular point. Now, what I'm sharing on the screen is a letter from the DSS, Department of State Services. The DSS is the equivalent of the CIA in Nigeria. It is the Nigerian version of the CIA, right? So the DSS, I guess one of their members, used a cell phone to take a photo of this memo. All right. This memo, this is the title. It says imminent threat of explosive attack on MKO Abiola National Stadium by IPOB. Listen, I need you guys to understand the kinds of demons that we are dealing with in this country. These guys are trying to gaslight IPOB like they've been doing for a long time. For the past couple of years, they proscribed IPOB, which is completely illegal. IPOB is the indigenous people of Biafra. They are a group of people trying to seek self-determination. They had seen the future from a long time ago, and they were like, we no longer want to be a part of this country. We want to be by ourselves. And for that reason, they have become victims. They've been labeled as terrorists. There has been a war going on in eastern Nigeria for the past 1 year, 1.5 years. Now, after the terror attack in Kaduna-Abuja rail line, it is only sensible for you to think that if there is going to be another terror attack because the Ghanaians are coming to play Nigeria in the Abuja Stadium, it might be at the Abuja Stadium set up by the Fulani terrorists, right? But the DSS comes out with this letter and says IPOB is trying to blow up Abuja. See, it says here, intelligence available to the service indicates imminent attack on the stadium by members of the proscribed IPOB using prime improvised explosive devices on the 29th of March 2022. Logically speaking, the last terror attack, the major one, it took place about 170 kilometers from the National Stadium in Abuja. So the attack that happened on the rail line happened about 170 kilometers away from the National Stadium where the football game was held. So it's not far away, right? If these guys are going to come back and attack the National Stadium, then it's going to be the Fulani bandits. But the DSS tries to gaslight IPOB, warning the president of the country only. It says here, in view of the foregoing, coupled with the planned attendance of the president, Buhari, and other important dignitaries to honor the national team, the national soccer team. There is the need for adequate deployment of counter-security measures before and during the slated match, with a view of preventing, detecting, and neutralizing threats. The foregoing is forwarded for your kind information and necessary action. To cut the long story short, the DSS pretty much warned Buhari that, listen, do not show up at the game, Nigeria-Ghana, because if you do, IPOB plans to attack the venue and we want you protected. But they kept that information private from the general public. A responsible country would have, if you don't even want to cancel the game, maybe you would have deployed excessive security, right? To comb the entire area. I'm talking about if this threat was real. You would have deployed excessive security to comb the entire area to try to neutralize the situation before it happened. But these guys didn't tell anybody. They put everybody in danger and told Buhari. It was one of their officials that used his own cell phone to take the picture, and this thing went viral. I also forgot to mention that during that stampede that happened in the stadium, after Nigeria lost to Ghana and crashed out of the World Cup qualifying series, a CAF, that's the Confederation of African Football staff, a CAF staff, their medical doctor that watches after the players, during a soccer game, there is usually a doctor on site that checks out the players, see their conditions. The guy is from Zambia. He lost his life. And I'm going to share his photo so we can see what happened, because it was an extremely sad situation that Nigerians took to the pitch, destroyed everything, and actually killed someone in the process. And unfortunately, it was a Zambian national that lost his life. This is him. This is the guy right here. Yeah, very sad situation. Joseph Cabungo. He was a Zambian medical doctor. He was beaten by the angry, frustrated Nigerian supporters, and he lost his life in the process. Rest in peace to the man. Very sad situation. Nigeria happened to this man. This man became a victim of the anger in the Nigerian system. 1 second. Can someone share this gospel truth? Well done, African Wahala. Thank you so much. Smart Tempo. Thank you so much for that comment. Don't forget, if you like this conversation, drop a comment in the comment section. If you want to join in on this conversation, at some point you might be able to call. The phone number, the WhatsApp number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and you can call in, share your idea. Let's hear what other people have to say too, because I am not Mr. Know-it-all. I am also learning, right? But as we are saying, man, we have an extremely sad situation. We have a very, very sad situation, an unsustainable situation. It is a situation that will eventually implode. The volatility in the country is at the all-time high. The country is so volatile. The people are volatile. People are hungry, suffering. And hungry, suffering people are angry. And eventually, when they react, boy, oh boy, it's going to be nasty. And that's just the simple truth, okay? And Nigeria crashed out of the World Cup. DSS warned Buhari to stay away from the match, but did not warn the rest of the people. Yeah, obviously, because the DSS doesn't give a damn about Nigerians. Buhari doesn't give a damn about Nigerians or Ghanaians, the foreigners that came to play a match in Ghana. And I'm going to end this conversation with this thought of mine, okay, about the Nigerian-Ghana match, about Nigeria crashing out of the World Cup. We need to remember one thing about us. We have dementia as a people, and that's just the truth. I don't know if it's as a result of us having our human rights taken away for about how many decades now. We've not had human rights for a long time. During Goodluck Jonathan's era, we had a little bit of human rights because we're able to protest. We're able to curse Goodluck Jonathan, call him a clueless president, a useless thief. We cursed this guy out. Some people were arrested as usual, but fewer people were violated. Prior to Jonathan, it was always military. So nobody could really have a voice to express himself. And then after Jonathan, it returned to the status quo of not having human rights. You will suffer, but you are required to keep quiet in your suffering, because if you complain, you will have an X placed on your back. Okay? So that's the Nigerian dream. And that's why we are where we are today. Angry people, frustrated, about to implode people. The reason why you should be grateful that Nigeria crashed out of the World Cup, okay, is number one, if we had qualified in that World Cup, we are going to be distracted. Because now people are going to be arguing. First and foremost, this is what is going to happen. Nigerians are going to jump on Instagram, on Twitter, on social media. They are going to be trolling Ghanaians for the next 1 week. Hey, Ghana, you guys, you don't know how to play football. Oh, you guys, your soccer sucks. Oh, your Ghanaian musicians are trash. Oh, Nigeria is just better than Ghana in everything. Oh, Ghana sucks. But in real life, that's a distraction. Because you trolling Ghana, claiming that you're better than Ghana in everything, you're forgetting the fact that the poverty is increasing in the country, insecurity is getting worse in the country, and criminals are planning how to take over power, to continue taking over power come 2023. So you're going to be distracted from that fact because you are busy focusing on a trivial issue like Ghana. Secondly, even if Nigeria qualified for that World Cup, guaranteed, it's not going to win the World Cup. We know that Nigeria will not win the World Cup because the team is just not that good. It's not as if we don't have the talents or we don't have people that have natural talents that are athletic and know how to play soccer or play all these other games. But everything in the country has been on a constant downward trajectory for the last 30-something, 40-something years. So how do you expect the Super Eagles to go to the World Cup and come back with a bronze medal? It's not going to happen. The last time that the Super Eagles was any form of good was probably in 2004 during the Nations Cup. In France 98, Super Eagles was fair. And guess what? The guys in the Super Eagles from back in the days that were our heroes, the JJ Okochas, the Nwankwo Kanu, the Taribo West. Today they are all hustlers. We see them supporting Tinubu, a criminal that contributed to the mess that we are in today. Everybody is a hustler, bro. Everybody is trying to survive, man. You see Taribo West praying fervently for Tinubu like his life depended on it, because his life truly depended on it. If he prayed very hard for Tinubu, Tinubu would give him money. And keep in mind, Tinubu is a criminal. This is a guy that has committed crimes documented for years. Nobody has sent him to prison. He has a bunch of supporters. And me, I'm not even hopeful that a guy like Tinubu will not get into power. More than likely, he's going to be the next president of the country. Because while people like us are clamoring and campaigning against him and people like him, there are millions of people that are on the opposite side campaigning for him. These people are not rich. These are also victims of the country. But they are victims of the weaponization of poverty. They have been, I don't want to say brainwashed, but let me just say brainwashed. They have been brainwashed because remember, a guy like Tinubu, a guy like Atiku, all these guys that are trying to come back to be the president, they have huge media platforms. They have TV stations, radio stations, newspapers that they keep on feeding the people with propaganda. So the people genuinely believe that Tinubu or Atiku or any one of these guys from PDP and APC, they are going to come back and save Nigeria from this hellhole that we find ourselves in. But if you have common sense, you know that that's not true. It's not possible, bro. No, none of these people can save Nigeria. Bro, the only thing that can save Nigeria right now, I'm going to say it again one more time, is not for there to be another fraudulent election. Another election is just a final nail in the coffin. In fact, the final nail in the coffin has already been put in. Another election is just putting the coffin in the hole, in the dog hole in the ground. That's what that is. And more than likely, an election is going to happen. So it's like the country is already destined to burn to the ground completely. Okay? And that's why, if they genuinely want to save this country, they better start having that conversation now about what we are doing before another election. Another election is just the final fate, sealing the final fate of the country. allowing a guy like like Tinubu, Atiku, even Peter Obi. Peter Obi seems to be a good guy, but the fact that he's associated with PDP, that has already cancelled his chances of fixing the country. Okay, it's not going to happen. And if you're thinking about a guy like Kingsley Mogalu or Omoyele Sowore, me, Sowore is my own guy personally. I love Sowore because he's an activist. Sowore is an angry guy, and he knows how to express himself calmly. He's an antithesis of the Nigerian system. He's a guy that comes out saying, when I become your president, all you criminals are going to jail. He calls them criminals. He's a very bold guy. I love Sowore, but I don't want him to be the president because he can't fix the country too. If Sowore becomes the president and everything starts crumbling, because that is what is going to happen. When everything starts crumbling, it's going to destroy his name, his legacy. Everything that Sowore has stand up for the longest time, people are going to forget about it because there will be an increase in terrorism, there will be more poverty. It's not due to Showore's fault. It's due to the Nigerian system. The system was created to fail, to punish the people. That's why Sowore, I don't want him to be the president because I want his integrity to be intact. Okay, so nobody can actually save Nigeria. We don't need another election. That's not what we need. We need a conversation to determine what exactly we are doing. And the truth is, the people that are asking for the breakup of the country, they're actually right. They are 1,000% correct. We breaking up this country. Okay, let me even talk about the Yoruba nation because that's where I'm from. If Yoruba nation comes to fruition, I'm going to be honest with myself. I have skepticisms that there is still going to be poverty. Obviously, there will be poverty. Oh, yeah. The poverty is not going away anytime soon. There is still going to be greedy animals that will be fighting for power at the expense of the people. There will be power tussle. There will be, clashes here and there. But one thing that I know for sure that has a very good chance of reducing is the spread of terrorism. You see, the terrorism that is currently spreading across the country, and it's unstoppable at this point. When we have a Yoruba nation, the chances of that terrorism spreading diminishes immediately. I'm not saying there wouldn't be poverty. In fact, the chances of poverty diminishing also reduces. But one thing for sure is terrorism is going to reduce because there is no way that you're going to tell a new country the kind of people that should be found within its borders, in its bushes. Right now in Nigeria, you go into the forest, you find people lurking around in the bushes. They have no houses and they have machine guns, they have weapons. And some of these people come from faraway countries as far as Mali, as far as Libya. They are in the bushes of Nigeria. You don't need a visa, you don't need nothing. You just walk through bushes, through the desert until you get somewhere and you just chill there. If you have weapons, you can defend yourself, you can rob people and continue surviving in the bushes. And that's exactly what we have. And those people are the ones terrorizing people all across the country. But if you have a Yoruba nation, the government will be in a better position to protect the integrity of the country. They can go into the bushes, find people that are foreigners, and either throw them in jail or expel them, throw them out of the country. There wouldn't be any executive orders from Abuja preventing them from doing that. And that is one major advantage about breaking up Nigeria, and that's why I support it. And I'm not saying there are no skepticisms. There are definitely skepticisms because it's still the same Nigerians that will go to the new countries. And a lot of Nigerians are already psychologically skilled. The only thing that they understand is how to cut corners, how to cheat the system, how to trample upon other people in order to get to the top. So that mindset is going to go into the new countries. But there are still many advantages. One thing I know for sure is that the current Nigeria that we have is destined to crash. So if that is a constant, that this current Nigeria is destined to crash, then another alternative is good. Point blank and period. And that's what I have to say about that. And with all of that being said, I will post the link to the chat, right? If you want to call in, click on this link, right? If you click on this link, it gives you an opportunity to come through and you can chip in. You can say one or two things if you have anything to say. If that is not comfortable for you, you can call in on the WhatsApp number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We can just have a quick chit chat for about 5 minutes, and then I'll round up this conversation we've tried today. This is the African Wahala. We try to come through at least twice a week, Wednesdays or Thursdays, 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Saturdays, 11 p.m. as well. Or we come in on Sundays, 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's on Facebook's Diaspora Radio International. All we are trying to do is educate ourselves, enlighten ourselves, so that we can be better protected. Because if you're not educated, you're not enlightened about the circumstances around you, you become vulnerable. You might be the next victim. And if you're not aware of the propaganda that has kept you supporting the same criminals that brought us to this position, that's what we are here to do. We are here to let the people know that these are the wahalas that we have in the country. Be aware of it so that you stop making the same mistake. Another election is just us repeating the same mistake that we've been making for the longest time and expecting a different result. It's not going to bring another result. The only result that it's going to bring is more death, more terrorism, more poverty. So with all of that being said, if you have anything to add to the conversation, feel free, click on the link, join the live stream. We can have a quick 5-minute chit chat before we sign out for the night. Seems like nobody is interested. So with all of that being said, thank you for tuning in. Remember, the end result of this entire mess that we are in is three things. It's either the people revolt against the system. It's going to happen. We already seen a snippet of that. The way the people reacted after Nigeria crashed out of the World Cup qualifiers against Ghana. The way those people reacted is abnormal. Nigerians don't react that way, even if they lose a match at home. The reason why Nigerians reacted that way, destroying the stadium, you see the vigorousness, the anger that these guys were putting in making sure that they smashed the stadium. It shows you that these guys are angry and they are just looking for any avenue to express themselves. So eventually the people are going to come out together, the poor people, because majority of the people are poor. They're going to come out and run on a rampage. Number two, the military, the lower military guys that have been sacrificed for the longest time, while the higher military guys are becoming billionaires in this fake fight, in this fake war against terrorism that has been going on since 2009. Between 2015 and 2022, the Nigerian government has spent 4.3 trillion naira, which is a couple of billions of dollars, on fighting against insurgency and terrorism. But the only thing that has happened is that the top military guys have become billionaires in the process. The lower military guys, they keep on getting sacrificed. You hear about 15 soldiers got killed by Boko Haram, 22 soldiers got killed by bandits, 20-something soldiers. The lower military guys are getting killed. The higher echelon military guys are becoming billionaires. So what that means is that eventually the lower military guys are going to revolt against the higher military guys. The third thing that will happen is that all of this is going to build up to the breakup of Nigeria eventually. And when Nigeria breaks up, it's not the end of the suffering. No. It's not going to, once Nigeria breaks up, it's not going to be the end of the suffering, but it's a step in the right direction. Okay? Poverty is still going to be there. It's still the same crazy Nigerians that will go to the new countries. It's still the same greedy, corner cutting, shortcut taking Nigerians that will make up the new countries. So we are still going to have a lot of problems for a long time. But one thing for sure is that the new countries will be better equipped socially to prevent the spread of terrorism. That is for sure, because I know one thing for sure, that Yoruba people, for example, in Oyo State, they're not going to be looking at some random Fulanis in the bushes. and they wouldn't be able to approach them. Because in the current Nigeria that we have, if you go approach them, the Nigerian army is going to come for you, okay, for approaching and asking these guys to leave the bushes. They are not supposed to be there. But in the new country, there wouldn't be any Nigerian army to come beat you up for doing that, right? And yeah, that's another advantage. So with all of that being said, thank you for tuning in to the African Wahala. Stay safe. Have a great day ahead. Peace.